Welcome back, everyone, to Disco Elysium. You're here with the only fever, otherwise known as DraxxKraven, when it's time for things to get a little spooky. The hallway's blocked by old window panes and debris. Looks like the remains of the 24H window repair shop. Who needs a 24-hour window repair shop? Large demijohn full of a strange liquid. Wild animals stare at you in the dark, stuffed and mounted. Airship rotors covered in spider webs. They remind you of blades. A naked mannequin torso, a strange yellow color. But where are the clothes it used to display? Blue velvet, soft to touch, moth-bitten. Is this Emma's atelier? Well, I'm flush with cash. Not exactly what I'm looking for, though. Skis with slipstream, printed on a laminated top layer. Steel rotor blades bearing a slipstream logo. Looks like someone tried to reconceptualize their business here. I don't get it. Look, the skis and rotor blades both bear the same slipstream logo. It seems likely that they started out making one, failed to turn a profit, and then pivoted to producing the other. But the question is, which did they start with, and which did they pivot to? That's a good question. What a strange leap of imagination, and yet they still failed. How sad. Reality is ruthless! Production schedule filament memory. Maybe I shouldn't be jogging through the dark. Project Dreadboard. Whoa. Okay, sorry, I never saw like the weird goblin elf-looking guy on the front. Your flashlight slides over an old green chalkboards covered in scribbles, sketches, and schemes like some ancient cave mural. Some of the writing is faded with age, but you can still make out sections here and there. Photos and drawings have been pinned to the board. Inspect the drawings. These lithe, pointy-eared creatures appear to be different types of welkins. You make out autumnal candle welkins casting wax-based magic, translucent welkins with organs shining under their skin, and even aether welkins hailing from the vast emptiness of sidereal space. Who are all these creatures? Fantasies of a tortured, feverish mind? You should adopt one of these welkins as your persona, no longer a mere man, but a welkin. One of the welkins towering among the rest appears to be different, however. Examine the welkin. This is important. It's Varahamira, a high welkin, his face white and scarred like cracked marble. This is clearly a welkin supremacist. The notes say, all non-welkin races will be purged. The holder, the Dweorg, the humans, and even the headless men, all of them purged. Imagine a world filled only with welkin, green welkin, dread welkin, and the high welkin to rule them all. The lieutenant can't help but comment. An inordinate amount of time has gone into drawing these little welkin creatures. One of them is a welkin supremacist. Political commentary. That one has a great beard, too. Why would anyone spend so much time on this? Some people really like building a world, I think, even if it is just for a game. Who are these creatures? Are they real? This looks like concept art for a project. It's not really real. Just look at those details. So much effort. And for what? All gone. Inspect the photos. The photo collage depicts barren, icy landscapes wrapped in perpetual night. You see permafrost and glacial landforms, dead trees grunting under the snow. Entire oceans have been frozen from shore to shore. There are pictures of settlements on dried-up riverbeds, abandoned in a storm, animal corpses in the dark, carcasses and bones. You see primitive oil rigs built into glaciers by boreal Dweorg, yurts under the snow, great mammoth-like beasts of burden. Albeit dark and cold, this vision also feels cozy in its own way, like eggnog and morphine, a much-needed respite from our own worlds. The postcard reads, the heat-death scenario, a desperate fight for geothermal energy engulfs the world as Wirral becomes untethered from its sun, drifting through the universe. Inspect the schedule. This is a monthly calendar from the year 50. Cryptic words like sprint, daily minime, and GPI span the marker-drawn grid, the grand scheme of production and money. It looks a bit like an academic calendar, only much more brutal. So much pain. Back pain, neck pain, headaches, carpal tunnel, chest pain. No gym membership can make up for working in this manner. What happened? As time goes on, the numbers in the boxes grow rarer and rarer. The board becomes an empty snowfield in the final days. Only failure and regret dwell in this region. Lieutenant looks at the frigid ice field of nothingness and concludes, looks like they didn't make it. A note on the bottom left corner of the chalkboard says, see the production schedule filament for details. Inspect notes. The handwriting is only partly legible, but you can still make out 3 slogans. Call in, tune out, we're all untethered, and heat death of the universe. The full text reads, heat death of the universe is the new black, the biggest advancement in role-playing systems since the 30s. Outside, a cold wind wraps the building in its bosom, snowflakes in the wind. An old woman passes what the locals call the doomed commercial area. She tries hard not to look at the bookstore windows. It's unwise. Huh. Okay, what do we have over here? Frequency Fireplace. This old fireplace is covered in lines drawn in blue and red marker, the mesh spreading over the stone like blood vessels on alabaster skin. It looks ghostly and strangely ancient. A diagram for summoning some time-forgotten being? The symbols seem very esoteric. The whole thing resembles Kedron mosaic tiles. Very pedantic. Hold on. How do I know what Kedron mosaic tiles are supposed to look like? History class. Students with their textbooks open, studying the roots of our civilization. Those aquarelle blue tiles look beautiful in the sun. What am I looking at? Radio frequencies, it seems. Some written notes, too, sparse and cryptic. Radio frequencies for what? Unclear. It looks like a cardiovascular system split into veins and capillaries. Very advanced. So we're dealing with something medical here? You think so? The web is comprised of radio stations. All lead back to one red heart titled the Game Master Frequency. A note says, this one can listen in on any station it wants? Looks like a surveillance program. They must have had massive air width. These things don't come cheap. Wait, who's the Game Master? Someone very important. A conductor for hundreds of story threads that pass through the Game Master's frequency. Well, if it's a game, then who is playing? Whoever decides to call into a call-in station, it looks like. A list of names under the station suggests people across 6 isolas would be playing. Mundi, Inselind, Katla, Grad, Samara, and even Ilmara. All of this gone, left unrealized. There's no way a little basement studio working here could pull something like this off. My God. It's as if the less money they had, the more ambitious their project became. Why do you say that? The schedule. I know doom when I see it. The company was running out of funding. What else? Nothing. It's just lines on marble. An echo from times long gone. No one has used the fireplace in ages. Huh. Another radio computer, just sitting here without anyone in sight. Do you think I should turn it on? It's your call. No, I want to install the production schedule filament memory. Damn. What a strange thing. Alright, let me go check out this area first. Aha! The floorboards creak. Shoes in a puddle of melting snow. Does someone live here? Ooh, postcard. La Delta 51. Safety curtains. An iron safety curtain curves before your eyes, folded like a bellows. It covers half the room, blocking the way into a colossal industrial chimney. This must be where the entity lives. Well, I won't worry about that now. I have a production filament memory to worry about. I just feel like running through here is not a good idea. Turn on the machine. Look inside the compartment. It's empty like a beehive without its brood. Some cables have been left dangling, disconnected. Insert the production schedule. Play. The speaker comes to life. Static seeps through the machine's planar magnetic drive, and an old lady greets you. Her voice sounds like 100 years old. Good evening, Fortress Accident. En route to St. Ghislaine. This is East Indian Repeater Station 1. Yvonne, it's me again. How are you? Good, thank you. It's not clear whether she recognizes your voice. Please repeat. Is this the production schedule? Let's try the password. Afterlife death? Good. I've unlocked the production schedule. Really? She just used the same password? Maybe those radio computer guys aren't that paranoid after all. That's all for now. Thank you, and goodbye. Press print. With a quiet determination, the printer starts printing, a piece of paper unfolding like a handheld fan. A black crisscross of letters cross its surface. Well, let's read the printout. It's a project report written by the lead producer Andrew Andy Schott about the We're All Untethered, a radio game developed by Studio Fortress Accident. The first few pages give an overview of the capital and workforce, while the rest of it seems to be production schedule. Tell me about the money. In a short time of existence, Fortress Accident SCA managed to burn through truly insane amounts of money. The first tranche of seed financing brought in 150,000 Real, but then came the delays. Eventually, the damage reached 400,000 with only half of the game finished. 400,000 Real? Jomaiju, these guys knew how to party. Where did the money go? Or did they get it all? Let's just say it was a real investor for their. Let's just say it was a real adventure for their Iguanian investor. Who worked for it and on how long? Fortress Accident employed only 18 people, the bulk of team composed of writers and concept artists. There were also radio programmers, sound engineers, and CEO, 2 marketing experts, and a single overburdened producer who developed a habit of popping Pirholadon in the basement to escape his obligations. But on the other hand, their obligations were piling up at an inhuman rate, a rate that could only be amended by Pirholadon. Why did Fortress Accident have so many concept artists? It didn't. Didn't need so many concept artists? No, definitely not. A few more producers could have come in handy, though, especially when dealing with writers, some of whom routinely skipped work because of mental health issues and extremely unprofessional sleep schedules. One of them even managed to steal some valuable company property before skipping town for good. Jesus. The production schedule depicts the glorious descent into bankruptcy. Because of the concept artists? No, not the concept artists. It wasn't even the writers with their panic attacks and 3-hour lunches. It was impossible not to fail. The project was too large and no amount of money could satiate the ever-expanding ambitions of the team. They tried to make a 4 million Real game with 400,000 in their bank account. They thought they could bridge the gap with pure willpower and imagination, and they couldn't. Oh, so they were killed by their own ambitions. No, even then, success remained within an ever-narrowing margin of possibility that despite everything never entirely disappeared. That is, until they discovered the Valley of the Heads. The what? At the 11th hour, the lead designer, Zemsk-born Sulisla Sawiswa, decided that what We're All Untethered needed was a secret mystical location at the extreme edge of the map. This place was to be called the Valley of the Heads, where the heads of all the headless constructs could be found. The player would be able to choose a head for their headless party member, and each head would have been voiced by on air by a professional actor. Do not ask how many heads there were. This is some insane shit. Who were these people? The world... Oh shit, I have to ask. The world had never seen their kind before and might never again. How many heads were there? So many. At least, at last count, there were approximately 10,000 heads for 10,000 headless men, all of which could be endlessly recombined. How many combinations could you make out of that? Do you really want to know? There seems to be a calculation here, but it could take a while. No, let's not go there. Good call. It's more than the number of atoms in the observable universe. That's pretty bad. So that's what killed them? Well, yeah, that and the catastrophic data loss. The what now? On the nature of the data loss, there's ominously little information in the production log. It comes at the very end, where things get fuzzy and dark, where tables and numbers seem to vanish into an eerie nothingness before the Iguanajan investor pulled the plug. What is clear is that one day an unidentified numeric anomaly occurred in the East Revacholian Lintel front, just as the We're All Untethered project was being computed that day. And the anomaly caused all the data to get lost in the air. When the project was returned, it was completely blank. The team spent weeks on the phone with Lintel, the service provider, but despite their diagnostics, they could never produce a satisfactory explanation or pay for the loss. They lost the whole game and wouldn't even pay for it? Always read the terms of service. And let's face it, they didn't have any money left for legal action. So was there a copy? A backup? Mysteriously enough, it seemed that the off-site copy happened to be on-site when the catastrophic data loss occurred. It was the lead programmer's responsibility to oversee weekly maintenance of the off-site copy and, well, keep it off-site. An explanatory note from the lead programmer has been attached. What does it say? S. Lukanen killed. The lead programmer of Fortress Accident. The off-site copy was on-site because there was no off-site anymore. Not for me. Not after 8 months of crunch. I didn't have a home anymore, so I started keeping it in the basement, in the ice bear refrigerator, near where I went to sleep. It was perfectly safe there. The temperature conditions were optimal. It's not very convincing, is it? Her former colleagues would agree with you. She's right, actually. Nothing wrong with keeping that type of filament memory in a fridge. Is there anything else on the lead programmer? The production schedule ends with a few random notes that seem to be added sometime later. Read the notes at the end. 4 months later, by an unknown author, I am the only one left, and it's gotten rather damp here. A few other businesses have gone under too. Slipstream switched to making skis. Ah, so they were starting with the blades. And the hairdresser's just left, cursing Martinez. They're right, though. Something's seriously wrong with this place. Martinez. All of it. Still haven't gotten an answer from Lintel about what happened. All I could get were the physical coordinates of the error on the East Insulindian front on that day. Since the computation happened on air, I reckon it had to coincide with an actual existing location. I've compared the coordinates to a map of Ravishal West. Turns out it's only 800 meters from here. The address is St. Brun 1147. I'm going there to look this thing in the eye. Remove the production schedule.
Okay. What do you think is going on with that computer, chalkboard, and fireplace?
It's obvious. This is what remains of Suna's radio game studio Fortress Accident. Yes, I got that. What I meant was, what were they trying to achieve with this damn game? What were their ambitions? Because this here looks rather advanced. He has respect and curiosity for this failed endeavor. This is way above your tiny little policeman head. No! I don't know. I'm not an artist. Okay, well, I think, like he's ready to lay out a fine theory crafted together like a puzzle box. It looks like one of those popular pen and paper role-playing games, only these people were trying to automate it, make it work on radio computers. Has anyone ever done this before? Not to my knowledge. They make automated games in Grad, Messina, Koningstein, you know, places with industry. Not in Ravishal West. But I don't think anyone has attempted to create an intersolary game before. We just don't have the technology. And this was a role-playing game? Indeed, those Welkins are a dead giveaway. Role-playing people love that stuff. The world looks like a modified version of the We're All board game with heat death thrown in. Super cool. Someone should give them millions of real immediately. This game is too good to be left unfinished. How are they planning to do that? Through call-in stations. None of the players have to be physically present. Anyone in the world can participate in the game as long as they have a two-way radio. Then there's the Game Master frequency that listens in on the smaller call-in stations. I think that was supposed to coordinate the stories, functioning as a master of ceremonies. His fascination has swept aside other concerns for the moment. He's a little hooked. Coordinating so many games would take a whole switchboard of people, possibly divided into sub-frequencies. Yowza. Indeed, it's ambitious and untethered from reality, but... The curse got them. I see no other explanation. Ah, yes, the doom of bad business practices. Kim looks around in the derelict room. The pipes howl and a rat crosses the floor. Okay, let's keep moving. Scribbled across a notebook. Developers of the most advanced RPG in the universe. You're not wrong. Oh, Jesus Christ. What the fuck is that? Like, I understand it's a giant fridge. Heads up, this is where we could have stored the hanged man if Plaisance had still been awake. You see a terrifying ice bear with a strange compartment in its belly. The door is covered in frost and the bear's eyes are glowing red. This ice bear is a hypercarnivore. Be careful. The bear looks oddly realistic. Is it taxidermy? Crack open the door. A gust of freezing cold air rushes to greet you. You hear a low grumble. As the bear regulates itself, this is the inside of a refrigerator. The lieutenant takes a peek inside. His hand has found the holster of his gun. Relax, Cam, it's a fridge. Of course, just a giant ice bear-shaped fridge. Let's take a look inside. The shelves are empty. All you can see are crumpled ice cream wrappers with the brand name Revachol Ice City. A handwritten note has been attached to the door. The fridge is huge. But where's the filament memory? It's not here. Examine the ice cream wrapper. A friendly cartoon bear smiles back at you from a glossy cellophane wrapping. It looks nothing like the fridge. The paper still smells of vanilla and chocolate. Hey, I can't see the off-site copy. Someone must have taken it. You pocket the note and the little fridge magnets, keeping it on the door. What is a giant bear-shaped fridge doing in an abandoned cellar in the first place? Good question. It looks like an ice cream fridge. Somewhere in the past, it's summer. 5-year-old Fifith lets go of her mother's hand, change jingling in her pockets as she hops towards the ice cream stand right across the old plaza. Shake from the sudden cold sensation. As she makes her way to the market stall, the girl starts crying. A ferocious ice bear is guarding the fridge, its paws raised to ward off potential customers. Her mother rushes to soothe her, but Fifette doesn't want ice cream anymore. She just wants to go home. The ice bear stares at them as they leave the plaza. A gust of wind flies one of the wrappers right past the sobbing girl. So they tried to sell ice cream from this hyper carnivore? I know, what an unfortunate marketing choice. What's even worse is the bear is still costing them money to this day. The lieutenant points at the red shaky cable running from the fridge. The fridge buzzes with energy. The electricity bill on this thing must be catastrophic. Alright, let's check the note real quick. A handwritten note you found from a giant ice bear fridge. It still bears some marks on the fruit-shaped kitchen magnets that were used to secure it to the door. The note is written with a blue pencil on a piece of lined office paper. The kitchen magnets have left spots on its surface. Does it say anything interesting? This is tangential at best, but Lieutenant's detective instinct is still active. Read the note. Someone has scribbled, S, I can't believe the off-site copy is still here. The illiterate ginger kid keeps stealing stuff from the studio, so I had to hide it somewhere safe. You'll find the filament memory with the illiterate ginger kid. Frozen ice cream maker. Please take it home ASAP. It's important. I'd do it myself if I lived in the civilized place with a freezer. Take care. Sulisla. Who's the illiterate ginger kid? Really? You won't have a single guess? Kuno? Oh, I'm sure that child would love to get his hands on filament memory, even if he doesn't know what to do with it. He'd probably try to pawn it for speed based on our encounter. Someone's moved the filament, but who? Sulisla, wasn't it? One of Miss Lukanen-Kild's co-workers? I remember coming across his name when we were reading the personal logs. You have any idea where the frozen ice cream maker could be? I don't know. I assume it's somewhere close to the bear fridge. Alright, fair enough. Next time on Let's Play Disco Elysium, we investigate the furnace. We are caught between heaven and hell. Well, someplace very cold in hell. I mean, the deepest layer of hell is freezing, right? Well, if you look at